The UK and China are set for an almighty clash as Boris Johnson pursues a trade and investment Brexit boost in Africa. China has invested $683 million £524 million into Africa between 2000 and 2018 but is set for competition following the UK's moves to create investment projects on the continent. The UK has announced a £100 million road project in the state of Benin in order to boost trade post-Brexit, sparking warnings China won't be happy. Sophie Gaston, director of the British Foreign Policy Group, told Politico, "It was inevitable that Western and Chinese competition with Africa would escalate over the coming decades, as Africa finds itself at a crossroads in its pathway to development. It is certain that China will not be happy at the prospect of Britain undercutting its efforts to solidify its position in Africa. However, these tensions are inevitable and should be anticipated and prepared for." China has also pledged a further $148 billion £113 billion in infrastructure projects in Africa within its Belt and Road Initiative. The project stretches to 70 countries and is widely seen as an attempt by the country's leader, Xi Jinping, to increase China's influence across the world. While China has funded projects on the continent, there is concern over the nature of Beijing's investment. Certain projects such as a rail line in Kenya have come with huge debt repayments. The rail line began operation in 2017 and is heavily used but has also cost the country $3.2 billion £2.4 billion in debt repayment to China. Tom Tugendhat, Tory MP for Tunbridge and Malling and head of the China Research Group, said countries were now learning the true cost of infrastructure projects. He said, "You thought the investment was free but it turns out it's not free. It turns out that although the Brits and Americans have strings up front, the Chinese have small print." In a speech earlier this year, Mr. Johnson made reference to these projects during a speech at the UK-Africa Investment Summit. He also indicated the UK was a reliable partner who should be trusted when investing in Africa. Despite these claims, China has rejected any sinister element to its economic relationships with African states.